Hello friends, till now we have done various type of functions. Now it's the time to talk about lead and lag functions. What lead and lag functions do in MySQL. In MySQL there is no method if we want to identify something preceding or succeeding. Means if we are at the current row is 9, if we want to fetch the data of 8 and 10, then we don't have any direct method. Either we can do it by inner join between two tables or in two columns or self join, but there is a specific function lead and lag which do the similar operation in advanced MySQL. The lead and lag function in MySQL are used to get preceding and succeeding values of any row within its partition. It's used with partition. These functions are termed as non-aggregate window functions. The window functions are those functions which perform operation for each row of the partition or window. These functions produce the result for each query row, unlikely to the aggregate functions that group item and result in a single row. Okay. So the row on which operation occur is termed as current row. The set of rows which are related to the current row or using which function operates on current row is termed as window. Window is the range and the lag function is used to get value from row that precedes the current value. Similarly, lead function is used to get the value from the row that succeeds the current value. So another use of lead and lag function is to determine whether consecutive order was shipped using the same shipping mode. This can be extremely helpful or useful in optimizing the shipping and delivery of the product. So it's mainly used in the delivery. If we want to fetch about the delivery of some products in some a very big company or some small company. So there are syntax for lead and lag function which are for lead expression and default over window specification and name of the window. Similarly, there is a syntax for lag function lag within bracket expression and default over window specification over is defined over some range and name of the window. So over clause define the window over which window you are talking about to the leg function. So and in default argument in the function is optional. We can keep it or not depending upon the requirement what we want. So the few parameters now we will talk about the parameters we have used. Number one, expression. It can be column or any built-in function we want to fetch about. That the way we want to fetch about, we put here expression, and n is a positive value which is determine number of rows preceding succeeding the current row. If it is omitted in query, then its default value is 1. Means if we want preceding or succeeding by 1, then we don't need to mention it. But if we are in current row which is 8 and we want preceding or succeeding 5 values, then we have to mention. Default. It is a default value returned by function in case no row precedes succeeds. The current row by n rows. If it is missing, then it is by default null. Okay. And the over clause defines how rows are partitioned into group. So basically over clause is defined for grouping here. For partitioning, if over is empty, then function compute result using all rows. If over is empty, then function compute result using all rows. You have to define window within over clause. Window specification. It consists of query partition clause, determines how the query rows are partitioned and order. You have to give the window specification within window clause within over clause. And if you are repeating the same query, same window in elsewhere in the query, then it is reference using the window name. If you are not using, then you can use it within the over clause. But if you are using it again and again or repeatedly elsewhere in the query, then you have to mention it. You have to name it. Okay. I hope you got it how to write lead and leg function. And what are the importance of lead and leg function? Basically, there is no another way to get preceding and succeeding. If we use join can be a much more complicated way to writing the query for preceding or succeeding value. But lead and leg function can do it very effectively and in a simple manner. So this is the beauty of lead and lag function. In my coming video, we will go through some few examples of lead and lag function. Okay, okay, friends. Thank you.